Have you ever felt drained, undervalued, or even invisible in your relationships? Whether it's a friend, a colleague, or even a family member, certain people have a way of pulling us down, often without us realizing it until the damage is done. As we grow older, these dynamics become even more impactful, directly affecting our emotional well-being, mental clarity, and overall happiness. Here's the truth. Not every relationship is worth holding on to. Sometimes, even those closest to us can unintentionally or deliberately erode our sense of peace and self-worth. Recognizing these patterns and taking action to protect yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. In today's episode, we'll uncover 10 types of people you need to avoid in old age, even if they're family. From the manipulator who quietly controls your decisions, to the critic who always finds fault, to the isolator who pulls you away from meaningful connections. We'll explore who these people are, how they impact your life, and most importantly, how you can reclaim your peace and power. This isn't about cutting ties recklessly. It's about learning to set boundaries, prioritize your well-being, and create space for relationships that uplift and energize you. Because your happiness, your peace, and your time are worth protecting. Let's dive in and discover how you can take control of your relationships and live with greater confidence, clarity, and joy. 1. The manipulator. Recognize their game and reclaim your power. Have you ever left a conversation feeling uneasy, like you agreed to something you didn't want to, but you can't quite figure out how it happened? That's the art of manipulation. It's subtle, calculated, and often disarming. Imagine a friend or family member who says, "You're the only one I can count on," every time they need something. At first, you feel flattered, even important. But as time goes on, you notice that you're constantly rearranging your priorities for them, while they rarely return the favor. Slowly, their needs take center stage, and yours fade into the background. Manipulators are like skilled chess players, always thinking 2 steps ahead. They use emotional tactics like guilt-tripping, excessive flattery, and even gaslighting to influence your choices without making it obvious. Guilt-tripping often sounds like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." It's a strategy to make you feel indebted. Flattery might look like an avalanche of compliments, only to be followed by a request that feels hard to refuse. And gaslighting. That's when they twist your words or deny your experiences, leaving you doubting your own reality. Recognizing these tactics is the first step to breaking free. When someone makes you feel obligated, ask yourself, is this about helping them, or is this about control? Am I acting out of genuine care, or because I feel guilty or pressured? By pausing to reflect, you give yourself the clarity to see through their behavior. Setting boundaries is your next line of defense. A manipulator's power lies in their ability to make you question yourself, but firm boundaries disrupt their game. For example, if a family member constantly guilt-trips you, respond calmly and assertively. "I appreciate everything you've done, but I need to make the decision that's best for me." This simple statement not only deflects the manipulation, but also reinforces your autonomy. Stoic philosophy reminds us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. As Epictetus wisely said, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. You can't change how a manipulator behaves, but you can control how you respond. Instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back. Respond with clarity and confidence, denying them the reaction they seek. Your support system also plays a crucial role. Surround yourself with people who respect your independence and encourage your growth. A strong network of supportive friends or mentors can provide the clarity and reinforcement you need when manipulative tactics start to cloud your judgment. And if you feel overwhelmed, don't hesitate to seek guidance from a trusted confidant or professional who can help you navigate the situation. As you begin to recognize and address manipulation, you might find that some relationships need re-evaluating. It's okay to step back from connections that consistently drain your energy or undermine your confidence. Remember, distance isn't a loss. It's a step toward protecting your well-being. The truth is, manipulators thrive on doubt and compliance. But the moment you assert your self-worth and refuse to play their game, their control begins to fade. You are not a puppet in someone else's hands. By recognizing the strings they pull, setting firm boundaries, and surrounding yourself with people who value and uplift you, you can reclaim your power and live on your own terms. Trust your instincts, protect your peace, and know that your autonomy is yours to safeguard, always. 2. The financial exploiter. Safeguard your independence and resources. Financial exploiters are some of the most dangerous individuals to encounter, especially in later stages of life. They often see vulnerability as an opportunity to manipulate and take advantage of your hard-earned savings or assets. These individuals can range from distant acquaintances to close family members, and their tactics often appear subtle at first, making them even harder to detect. Picture this. A relative approaches you with a heartfelt plea for financial help, perhaps citing an urgent expense or promising to pay you back soon. Out of trust or guilt, you agree, only to realize later that this pattern keeps repeating and repayment never comes. Or imagine receiving a call from someone claiming to represent a legitimate organization, pressuring you into making a donation or sharing your personal financial details. The moment you comply, your resources and peace of mind are at risk. To protect yourself, start by recognizing the signs of financial exploitation. Watch out for individuals who frequently ask for money, especially if they use emotional manipulation, such as guilt-tripping you with phrases like, "I don't know where else to turn," or invoking familial duty with statements like, "Family should always help each other." Scammers, on the other hand, often use urgency or fear tactics, such as warning about supposed penalties if you don't act immediately. The next step is to maintain strict boundaries around your financial matters. Keep your financial information private, even from those you trust. If someone asks for money or financial assistance, pause before responding. Ask yourself, is this genuinely necessary? Can I afford to help without jeopardizing my own well-being? If in doubt, take your time to consult with a trusted advisor or a professional, such as a financial planner, to assess the situation. It's also important to stay informed and vigilant. Educate yourself about common financial scams, particularly those targeting older adults. Scammers often prey on generosity, trust, or unfamiliarity with technology. Regularly review your financial accounts and transactions for any unauthorized activity, and consider using tools like fraud alerts or identity theft protection services for added security. In some cases, financial exploiters may be close family members, which makes the situation even more complicated. If you suspect that a relative is taking advantage of your resources, approach the matter carefully but assertively. Have an honest conversation, stating your concerns and setting clear expectations. For example, you might say, "I'm unable to offer financial assistance at this time. It's important for me to prioritize my own expenses and security. If necessary, involve a mediator or legal professional to protect your rights and interests." Stoic philosophy offers valuable insight when navigating these situations. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we can control, our decisions and responses, while letting go of what we cannot. As Seneca said, "Wealth is the slave of the wise man, the master of the fool." By managing your finances wisely and staying grounded, you retain control over your resources rather than being controlled by others' demands. Finally, surround yourself with a network of trustworthy individuals who respect your independence and well-being. Seek out family members, friends, or professionals who can offer guidance and support without ulterior motives. And most importantly, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Remember, your financial security is not just about money. It's about preserving your freedom, independence, and peace of mind. By staying vigilant, setting firm boundaries, and taking proactive steps, you can protect yourself from financial exploitation and continue living life on your own terms. Your resources are yours to safeguard. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. 3. The neglectful caregiver. Prioritize compassionate support for your well-being. When you entrust someone with your care, you expect attention, respect, and compassion. A neglectful caregiver, however, does the opposite. Whether due to indifference, lack of awareness, or personal struggles, their neglect can lead to feelings of isolation, frustration, and even physical harm. In old age, when support is vital, recognizing and addressing neglectful caregiving becomes a matter of safeguarding your dignity and well-being. Imagine this. You ask for assistance with something simple, like preparing a meal or helping with transportation to an appointment. Instead of offering support, the caregiver dismisses your request, saying, "I'm too busy right now," or worse, they forget entirely. Over time, these small instances pile up, leaving you feeling invisible, undervalued, and increasingly dependent on unreliable care. The first step in addressing this is acknowledging the reality of the situation. If you notice patterns of inattentiveness, dismissive behavior, or unmet needs, it's crucial to confront the issue directly. This doesn't mean jumping to conclusions or assigning blame, but rather observing the dynamics objectively and assessing whether your needs are being met. Ask yourself, am I consistently receiving the care and respect I deserve? If the answer is no, it's time to speak up and advocate for yourself. Have a clear, honest conversation with the caregiver about your expectations and concerns. For instance, you might say, "I've noticed that some of my requests haven't been addressed, and it's important for me to feel supported. Can we work on improving this together?" This opens the door for constructive dialogue and potential improvement. However, if neglect persists despite your efforts, consider alternative options. Reach out to other family members, trusted friends, or professional care services to explore better solutions. Many communities offer support programs, elder care services, and advocacy groups designed to ensure that older adults receive the respect and care they deserve. You are not alone. Help is available. Stoic wisdom reminds us of the importance of self-reliance and resilience, even in the face of challenges. While relying on others for support is natural, your well-being ultimately depends on your ability to advocate for yourself and seek better circumstances. As Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. By taking control of your care, you reaffirm your value and strength. And here's where hope comes in. You are capable of creating a better environment for yourself. Facing neglect might feel overwhelming, but you have the power to seek change, demand respect, and find care that truly nurtures you. Every small step you take toward prioritizing your well-being is a step toward a brighter, more fulfilling future. Remember, your dignity and comfort are non-negotiable. By recognizing neglect, speaking up, and seeking compassionate support, you are not just surviving, you are reclaiming your right to thrive. Your needs matter, and you have the strength to ensure they are met. Keep going. You're stronger than you think, and better care is always within reach. 4. The overprotective family member. Balance support and independence. Overprotective family members often act out of love, but their constant interference can make you feel like your autonomy is slipping away. They might insist on making decisions for you, hover over your every move, or discourage you from doing things on your own, all in the name of helping. While their intentions might be good, this behavior can be suffocating and undermine your sense of independence. Imagine this. A well-meaning son or daughter insists on choosing your groceries, managing your finances, or deciding what activities you should participate in. At first, it might seem convenient, but over time, you start feeling like your choices no longer matter. This overprotection, though rooted in concern, can erode your confidence and leave you feeling like a spectator in your own life. The first step in addressing this is to recognize the dynamic. Overprotection often stems from fear. Your loved ones might worry about your safety or health. However, their fears shouldn't come at the expense of your independence. Ask yourself, are their actions truly helping me, or are they making me feel powerless? Once you've identified the issue, it's time to have an honest conversation. Let them know how their actions make you feel while acknowledging their intentions. For example, you might say, "I know you care about me, and I appreciate your concern, but I need to make decisions for myself. It's important for me to feel in control of my own life." This reassures them that you value their care while asserting your need for autonomy. Next, set clear boundaries. Decide which areas of your life you're comfortable receiving help with and which you'd prefer to handle yourself. Communicate these boundaries firmly but kindly, ensuring they understand your perspective. For instance, you could say, "I'd like to handle my own finances, but I'd appreciate your help with things like heavy lifting or transportation." This creates a healthy balance that respects both your needs and their desire to help. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our responses, actions, and mindset. You might not be able to change their protective nature completely, but you can control how you navigate it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By calmly asserting your independence, you regain control of your life without escalating conflict. Here's the hopeful truth. You can maintain your independence while keeping their love and support intact. When you assert yourself confidently and respectfully, you set the tone for healthier dynamics. Over time, your family will likely come to see that supporting your autonomy doesn't mean neglecting your care. It means empowering you to live a fulfilling life. Remember, you are still fully capable of making choices, exploring new experiences, and managing your life. By balancing their support with your independence, you create space to thrive. Your autonomy is a gift, and when you claim it, you show the world and yourself that you are in charge of your journey. 5. The self-absorbed, the narcissist. Protect your energy and prioritize meaningful connections. The self-absorbed individual, often labeled as a narcissist, is someone who thrives on centering every interaction around their own needs, desires, or accomplishments. Their world revolves around them, leaving little room for empathy or genuine connection. In old age, when meaningful relationships and mutual care become even more important, spending time with such individuals can leave you feeling invisible, undervalued, and emotionally drained. Picture this scenario. A friend or family member dominates every conversation with their own stories, achievements, or problems, rarely pausing to ask about your life. When you do share, they may offer surface-level acknowledgement before steering the focus back to themselves. Over time, these interactions can feel more like a performance for their benefit, rather than a connection based on mutual respect and understanding. To protect yourself from the negative effects of self-absorbed individuals, start by setting realistic expectations. Understand that these people are unlikely to change their behavior, as their focus is inherently inward. Instead of seeking validation or empathy from them, manage your expectations and limit how much emotional energy you invest in the relationship. Ask yourself, is this connection bringing value to my life, or is it draining me? Next, practice redirecting the dynamic. When they dominate the conversation, gently steer it toward a more balanced exchange. For example, if they interrupt you to talk about themselves, you could say, "I hear you, but I was hoping to share something important with you. Can I finish my thought?" This assertive yet respectful approach can subtly remind them to make space for you in the interaction. Boundaries are also essential when dealing with self-absorbed individuals. If their behavior consistently leaves you feeling drained or dismissed, it's okay to limit the time you spend with them. Prioritize relationships that uplift and energize you, where mutual care and respect are the foundation. As you distance yourself from one-sided connections, you create room for more meaningful bonds in your life. Stoic philosophy offers valuable guidance here. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control others, only our responses to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This wisdom encourages you to focus on cultivating your own empathy, kindness, and self-respect, rather than trying to change someone else's nature. And here's the empowering part. You have the ability to choose how you engage with others. While you may not be able to avoid self-absorbed individuals entirely, you can protect your energy by setting boundaries, managing expectations, and prioritizing the relationships that truly matter. Remember, your time and emotional well-being are precious. Surround yourself with people who listen, care, and celebrate your presence. By doing so, you build a life filled with connection and meaning, leaving little room for those who don't value you as you deserve. 6. The critic. Protect your confidence and embrace positive support. Critics can be some of the most draining people to have in your life, especially as you grow older and focus on maintaining peace and confidence. These individuals have a habit of constantly pointing out flaws, questioning your choices, or belittling your efforts. Their words might come disguised as constructive feedback, but over time they chip away at your self-esteem, leaving you doubting yourself and your worth. Imagine this. You share a personal achievement or a simple decision, like trying a new hobby, and instead of encouragement, you're met with comments like, "Why would you bother doing that?" Or, "Don't you think it's too late for you to start something new?" Over time, these remarks build a narrative that your choices are always up for criticism, robbing you of the joy and confidence you deserve. The first step in dealing with a constant critic is to recognize the impact of their behavior. Ask yourself, do I feel uplifted after interacting with this person, or do I leave feeling worse about myself? Identifying how their words affect your emotional well-being is crucial to understanding whether this relationship is serving you or harming you. Next, acknowledge that their criticism often says more about them than it does about you. Constant critics frequently project their own insecurities or dissatisfaction onto others. When you view their comments through this lens, it becomes easier to separate their words from your self-worth. For example, when they make a belittling remark, remind yourself, this is their perspective, not a reflection of my value. Setting boundaries is essential when dealing with a critic. You don't have to engage with or internalize every negative comment. If their remarks become too frequent or harmful, address them directly but calmly. You might say, I understand you have your opinions, but I'd appreciate it if you could be more supportive of my choices. By asserting yourself, you communicate that their criticism isn't welcome while maintaining your composure. Additionally, surround yourself with uplifting voices. Spend time with people who encourage you, celebrate your wins, and support your growth. These positive relationships can act as a counterbalance to any negativity you face, helping you stay grounded and confident in your decisions. Stoic philosophy reminds us to focus on what we can control, our reactions and internal mindset, rather than trying to change others. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When faced with criticism, choose to respond with resilience and self-assurance, rather than letting their words dictate your feelings. And here's the truth you need to hold on to. Your worth is not determined by someone else's opinions. The critic may always have something to say, but you have the power to decide how much space their words take up in your life. You've worked hard to build your confidence and peace. Don't let anyone chip away at it. By recognizing their patterns, setting boundaries, and surrounding yourself with positivity, you can protect your well-being and continue to thrive. You deserve relationships that lift you up, not ones that tear you down. Stay true to yourself and let your confidence shine. 7. The irresponsible. Guard your stability and demand reliability. Irresponsible people may not intend harm, but their lack of accountability and consistency can create chaos in your life. They promise but rarely follow through, leave important tasks undone, and make excuses for their behavior. In later years, when stability and peace of mind are crucial, such behavior can be exhausting, leaving you feeling vulnerable and unsupported. Imagine this. A family member promises to help with an important errand, but when the time comes, they forget or cancel at the last minute. Or a friend borrows something important, like money or a cherished possession, only to misplace it or fail to return it entirely. These instances may seem small in isolation, but over time they erode your trust and disrupt your sense of security. To protect yourself, recognize the patterns of irresponsibility. Pay attention to repeated behaviors like broken promises, missed deadlines, or careless mistakes. Ask yourself, does this person's behavior consistently disrupt my plans or peace of mind? If the answer is yes, it's time to reassess how much responsibility you entrust to them. The next step is to set clear expectations. Be explicit about what you need and the importance of reliability in your relationship. For example, if you've asked for their help, communicate the significance of their commitment by saying, "It's really important to me that this gets done as planned. Can I count on you to follow through?" By framing it as a partnership, you give them an opportunity to rise to the occasion while emphasizing the value of their reliability. If their behavior doesn't improve, limit their impact on your life. Avoid placing critical responsibilities in their hands or relying on them for important matters. Instead, delegate tasks to individuals you trust or handle them yourself when possible. This shift not only safeguards your stability, but also reduces the stress of unmet expectations. Stoic philosophy encourages us to focus on the things we can control, like our choices and actions, rather than dwelling on the shortcomings of others. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." While you can't force someone to be responsible, you can choose how much influence their behavior has on your life. And here's the empowering truth. You are not obligated to carry the weight of others' irresponsibility. By surrounding yourself with dependable individuals and creating systems that prioritize your needs, you reclaim control over your stability and peace of mind. Every step you take to protect your well-being sends a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. You deserve relationships built on trust, care, and mutual respect. By valuing your time and energy, you ensure they're spent with people who uplift and support you. 8. The ungrateful. Protect your energy and foster mutual respect. Few things are as disheartening as giving your time, energy, or care to someone who shows no gratitude in return. Ungrateful individuals often take and take without acknowledging your efforts, leaving you feeling undervalued, frustrated, and emotionally drained. As you grow older, when your energy becomes more precious, surrounding yourself with people who appreciate you is not just a preference, it's essential. Picture this. You go out of your way to help a friend or family member, perhaps by providing emotional support during a tough time or offering practical assistance. Instead of a simple thank you or an acknowledgement of your effort, you're met with silence, or worse, a sense of entitlement, as though your help was expected rather than appreciated. Over time, this dynamic can leave you questioning whether your kindness is being taken for granted. The first step in dealing with ungrateful people is to acknowledge the impact of their behavior. Ask yourself, do I feel uplifted by this relationship, or does it consistently leave me feeling drained and unappreciated? Recognizing these patterns helps you decide where to direct your time and energy. Next, redefine your boundaries. It's important to remember that giving is an act of choice, not obligation. If someone consistently fails to appreciate your efforts, consider scaling back how much you give to them. For example, instead of offering ongoing assistance, limit your help to what feels reasonable and sustainable for you. You might even say, "I'm happy to help, but I need to focus on my own priorities too." This shifts the dynamic, reminding them that your kindness is not a given. Another powerful strategy is to focus on those who do value you. Invest your energy in relationships where appreciation flows both ways, where your contributions are acknowledged and reciprocated. These are the connections that nurture your spirit and bring joy, rather than leaving you feeling depleted. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of directing our efforts toward what is meaningful and rewarding. As Seneca wisely said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Gratitude enriches relationships, while its absence diminishes them. By prioritizing relationships where gratitude is present, you align your life with people who truly value your presence and care. And here's the hope. You have the power to cultivate relationships that uplift and energize you. While ungrateful people might seem disheartening, their presence is a reminder to protect your time and invest in those who bring positivity and balance to your life. Remember, your kindness is a gift, not something to be taken for granted. By choosing where and how you share it, you reclaim your energy and foster relationships built on mutual respect. You deserve to feel valued, and by setting boundaries and focusing on gratitude, you create space for connections that truly honor you. 9. The pessimist. Cultivate positivity and protect your emotional energy. Pessimists have a unique way of dimming the light in any room. They focus on the negatives, anticipate the worst, and often dismiss optimism as naive or unrealistic. While we all have moments of doubt or worry, constant exposure to someone who perpetually sees the glass as half empty can drain your emotional energy and weigh heavily on your well-being. As you age, prioritizing a positive and uplifting environment becomes essential for your mental and emotional health. Imagine this. You share exciting news about a new hobby you've started or a milestone you've achieved. And instead of celebrating with you, the pessimist responds with, "That's great, but don't get your hopes up. Things never go as planned." Or perhaps you're enjoying a peaceful day, only for them to bring up endless complaints about everything wrong in the world. These interactions don't just affect your mood. They chip away at your ability to maintain a hopeful and resilient outlook. The first step in managing the influence of pessimistic individuals is to recognize the impact they have on you. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with them. Do you feel motivated and energized, or do you leave the interaction feeling deflated and discouraged? If it's the latter, it's time to evaluate the role this relationship plays in your life. Next, set boundaries to limit the negativity. You don't have to absorb every negative thought or comment they share. For example, if a conversation starts turning into a spiral of complaints, gently redirect the discussion. "I understand how you feel, but let's focus on something positive. What's something good that's happened recently?" This not only steers the conversation toward more uplifting territory, but also subtly signals that you're not willing to dwell on negativity. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is equally important. Seek out relationships and activities that inspire joy, hope, and creativity. Whether it's joining a community group, engaging in a favorite pastime, or spending time with optimistic friends, these positive experiences can act as a counterbalance to the negativity you encounter. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can't control the attitudes of others, we can control how much power we give them over our own state of mind. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By choosing to focus on gratitude, hope, and resilience, you protect your emotional energy from being overshadowed by someone else's pessimism. And here's the uplifting truth. You have the ability to create a positive environment for yourself, regardless of external circumstances. While the pessimist might highlight the challenges of life, you can choose to focus on its possibilities. Every time you prioritize joy, gratitude, and hope, you strengthen your inner peace and resilience. Remember, positivity isn't about ignoring life's difficulties. It's about choosing to see the potential for growth and good in every situation. By setting boundaries, redirecting negativity, and surrounding yourself with uplifting influences, you reclaim your emotional well-being and ensure that your life remains filled with light, no matter the darkness others may bring. You deserve to live in a world of possibility and hope, and you have the power to create it. 10. The isolator. Stay connected and protect your social well-being. Isolation can be one of the most harmful conditions to face, particularly in older age. While solitude can be a powerful tool for self-reflection, prolonged isolation, whether self-imposed or encouraged by others, can lead to loneliness, emotional distress, and even physical health issues. The isolator, whether intentionally or unintentionally, is someone who discourages your social connections or tries to pull you away from the relationships and activities that bring you joy and meaning. Picture this. A friend or family member consistently dissuades you from attending gatherings, saying things like, "Why do you even bother going? No one there really cares." Or perhaps they subtly make you feel guilty for spending time with others, hinting that your attention should be focused on them instead. Over time, this influence can cause you to withdraw from your social circles, leaving you feeling cut off and increasingly alone. The first step to overcoming this dynamic is to recognize the signs of isolation. Ask yourself, have I been avoiding social activities that I once enjoyed? Are my connections with others dwindling because of someone else's influence? Acknowledging the isolator's impact is the first step toward regaining your social well-being. Next, rebuild and nurture your connections. Make a conscious effort to reconnect with friends, family, and community groups that uplift you. If someone tries to discourage your efforts, stand firm and assert your intentions. For instance, you might say, "I value spending time with others. It brings me joy and balance, and it's something I'm committed to maintaining." This statement not only affirms your right to seek connection, but also sets a clear boundary. It's also important to create opportunities for meaningful engagement. Join local classes, volunteer for causes you care about, or simply reach out to an old friend for coffee. These small steps can help you rebuild a sense of community and remind you of the joy that comes from shared experiences. Stoic philosophy offers wisdom in moments of isolation by reminding us that we are naturally social beings. As Seneca said, "No one can live happily who has regard for himself alone, and transforms everything into a question of his own utility. You must live for your neighbor if you would live for yourself." By fostering relationships, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to the lives of others. And here's the hopeful truth. It's never too late to reconnect and build meaningful bonds. Even if isolation has taken hold, you have the power to reverse it by taking intentional steps toward connection. Each phone call, shared meal, or community event is a step toward reclaiming the social joy that isolation seeks to rob from you. Remember, you are not meant to walk through life alone. By recognizing and resisting the isolator's influence, nurturing your relationships, and seeking out new connections, you protect your emotional well-being and ensure a life filled with meaningful companionship. The power to create a rich and fulfilling social life is in your hands. Take the first step today. As we journey through life, especially in our later years, the people we surround ourselves with become even more critical to our well-being. The 10 types of individuals we've discussed today, whether it's the manipulator, the critic, the isolator, or the ungrateful, have the potential to drain our energy, undermine our confidence, and disrupt our peace. Recognizing their influence is the first step toward protecting your emotional, mental, and even physical health. But here's the empowering truth. You have the ability to shape your environment and your relationships. Setting boundaries, asserting your worth, and choosing to invest in meaningful, uplifting connections are all within your control. By doing so, you don't just safeguard your well-being, you also open the door to a richer, more fulfilling life, filled with joy, respect, and harmony. Remember, your time and energy are valuable. Each step you take to protect them sends a powerful message that you deserve respect, care, and positivity in your relationships. Life is too short to be spent on those who drain your light. Instead, focus on cultivating bonds that nurture your growth, celebrate your worth, and inspire your best self. As the Stoics teach us, we cannot control others, but we can always control how we respond, and where we direct our focus. By embracing this wisdom, you reclaim the power to live with dignity, purpose, and peace. So, take a moment to reflect. What steps can you take today to protect your peace and strengthen your connections? Whether it's setting a boundary, reaching out to a supportive friend, or simply letting go of a toxic relationship, every small action is a step toward a brighter, freer, and more empowered life. You deserve relationships that uplift and energize you. Don't settle for anything less. The power to create the life you want lies in your hands. Own it, protect it, and thrive.